So this is the virtual group for the Optifast and Essentials program. My name is Jordan Harold, and I'm one of the health behaviorists here. So welcome. I'm glad that you all are here. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things today. I came up with this group as a way to kind of set us off for a new year, right? To talk about goals and resolutions and things like that. So I wanted to first start off with telling you guys a little bit about this new year. So if you guys can think for me, today is the 2nd. So yesterday, of course, was the 1st. And on that day, it was also a Monday. Of course, it was the beginning of a new year. And of course, it was the beginning of a new month, right? So I don't know, didn't look, but I don't think it always happens to fall on a Monday. But I thought that was really, really interesting because what better way to have a fresh start? Monday, 1st of the year, 1st of the month. So thank you guys for tuning in today. If you have questions throughout the group, all you have to do is type them into the taskbar or the chat box down at the bottom, and I'll be able to see that and answer you hopefully right away. Also, after the group is over, then there will be, I'll end the meeting, and then you'll be able to click on a link, and that will help you get connected to a quick survey that you can fill out, and then you'll be added to a list to get Perka points at the nutrition shop next time you're in for attending group. So let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be a really interactive group today, so make sure that you've got a pen and paper ready to jot some things down and type when you feel led to. So we're going to go expectations for today. We're going to do a year of review in 2017. We're going to do something called Leave It There. We're going to talk about typical goals, a different way of looking at things, and then also ways to engage some of the things we talk about here at the Weight Management Center. Okay? So, let's see. Year in review. I want you guys to think about the first thing and get your pen ready. What did you accomplish? This doesn't have to be all about weight loss. It doesn't have to be all about your exercise regimen. But I want you to think and comment if you feel comfortable on what you've accomplished in 2017. I'm going to give you guys a second to do that. I don't know if anybody's typing, but we'll see. Did nobody accomplish anything? There's somebody's typing. Thank you. Some more things you can be thinking of while people are typing is what went well. Gotten more fit. Okay, so more healthy. You've increased your fitness levels. Good. So when thinking about what did you accomplish, a lot of times we think about what goal did I meet? What success did I have? And sometimes it's not quite as easy to capture that way. It's not quite as definite. John, for some reason I do not get audio. Can anybody else hear me? Ron can, Patty can. Okay, so John, check your, are you listening on a cell phone or? Okay, maybe try to reconnect. And I'm going to reach out to our tech guru real quick, and he might can log on and see. Okay. I've been talking to John and he can't hear me. Okay, so hopefully that he'll be able to get on and work that out. So we'll keep on plugging. So when you think about what's gone well and what you've accomplished, it may or may not be that it's a set goal. So think about just what went well. Did anybody have anything they accomplished or something that went well that has nothing to do with weight loss or their time in the weight management program? Work projects. Yeah, that's definitely a place where I know I feel a lot of success in, and that is work. Especially if it's something that you love to do, things like that, then we can feel success and accomplishment in that. So when you think about ways that you felt success and accomplished, think about what of that you can take over to 2018. So when you had those accomplishments, whether it was work, exercise, fitness, whatever it may be, what did it take for you to complete that? Was it time management? Was it discipline? What was it? So be thinking about what you can take over in 2018. Okay, so now we're going to shift gears a little bit in the year in review, and that is what people or things cause negative reactions from you. Okay, you don't have to type this in. You don't have to get too specific or personal about that, but you can if you want. Is there a certain family situation or a relationship or a situation with your boss or your significant other or your kids that caused a really good? I'm glad, John. Glad you got it taken care of. So is there something that's caused negative reactions from you? I want you to really spend some time thinking about that, and not so much in a way that we're going to dwell on negativity or anything like that, but more in a way of what can I learn from this? So first think about what can I do for this situation? Is it to end my communication with this person? Is it to sit down and talk to them? Is it, what's it about? And then not only what can you do, but what are you actually willing to do about it? Let me text my helper and let him know we're good. Okay. What are you willing to do about it? Because sometimes even though we can do something about it, it's not always something that we're willing to make a change. So when you think back about 2017, I want you to think about what went well, what you accomplished, what can you take, and then what are you willing to do about some of the negative aspects of it. The handout that's included at the bottom of your screen, that's called New Year, New You, is for you to be able to kind of take and work through some of the stuff that we've talked about. It's a very simple worksheet, just a tangible thing for you to kind of jot down. Okay, another thing that's kind of I want to touch base on is what I said about the beginning. Does anybody feel overwhelmed by the idea of having this fresh start, having this Monday, first of the year, first of the month, New Year's, and this expectation of things being different? Does that overwhelm anybody? A couple people are typing. It is a big task. No, I'm focusing on just being consistent with previous behaviors. I love that answer. I love all of them, but I think you'll know why I love this in a little bit, and I think you're going to love something that I have for you guys too. Starting transitions after a year in Optifast and a bit overwhelmed starting again. Yeah. So that's where I kind of put a question mark. I'll go back to it so everybody can see it. Maybe. Sort of question mark, right? New you. That was meant to be kind of sarcastic, and because of exactly what you guys are saying. Like when we think about this fresh start, does really it being a new year make a difference? No, and it's because exactly what Patty's saying, focusing on being consistent. If we can really sit back and think and say, okay, no, this isn't this kind of fresh start. I mean, sure. But why can't every day be a fresh start? Why can't every eating episode be a fresh start? That takes the pressure off of a lot of things. and allows us the ability to hold ourselves accountable more often, right? Okay, let me catch back up. Thank you guys for sharing that. Okay, bye 2017. So, what do you think I mean here? What are we going to say bye to? We're going to let it go, give it up, and leave it behind. So, what are some things that you guys want to leave behind in 2017? You see my wadding it up in a paper and throwing it away in the fire? That's what I mean. There's no wrong answers here either. The holidays derailed you. Yeah, that can happen. Negative attitudes and negative beliefs. We're going to put that on the sheet of paper, ball it up, and toss it into the fire, right? Anybody have anything else they want to share? I'm going to post some up here. Let me know if you see anything on here that is something you guys want to leave behind. And of course, this is not an exhaustive list. There can be a lot more things on there. Need for control, right? Self-defeating talk, needing to impress other people, fueling your fears, excuses, paying more attention to other people's emotions than your own, complaining. We could add to this list. So sometimes it's really, really helpful to have a physical representation of what we're leaving behind, which is why I did the fire and the paper. Does anybody have any other thoughts about things that they want to leave behind, or any ways that they kind of visualize this or represent this that they want to share? Okay, we'll keep plugging. Now, the fun part. Oh, I already asked you that. Okay, traditional goals. Take a second and type in what are some traditional goals that you normally have set before, or that you know people have set before. Traditional New Year's resolutions, right? Okay, lose 20 pounds. Exercise. Get healthy. And while you're typing these goals, I want you to think too, and be thinking about eat healthy. Be thinking about, do these types of goals and New Year's resolutions work? Okay. Do they work for you? No. Okay. They haven't worked before. They're just words. Not specific enough. Y'all are on fire today. Y'all are just right on it. Not usually, yeah. So I made a list, and Megan, one of the other behaviorists, kind of helped me with this morning, of some traditional goals, and we kind of got, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Satirical with them, so they're kind of extreme, but not all of them are. So when you think about it's lose weight, make myself work out every day. I'm never going to cuss again. I'm not going to drink alcohol. Fit into pants I wore when I was 22. And this being said, not by somebody that's 23, right? Fit back into my wedding dress. Be healthy. Run a marathon. Now, could some of these goals work for some people? Maybe. But what Ron said, they're not specific enough, some of them. Okay? Sometimes they're just words. So we can make this goal, but unless we have an action plan, how are we going to get there, right? So the whole idea of me wanting to share with you about these traditional goals is being able to say, how are we going to do it different? So a lot of times these are unrealistic. And also look at them and see. It's about things, not all of these on here, but a lot of them are about things that are negative, or things we're going to lose, or things we're going to take away. Okay? That doesn't sound fun. I'm not going to cuss anymore. I'm not going to drink. I'm making myself work out every day. Okay? Those are things that we're kind of taking away from what we used to do. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but I believe that we could do it differently in a way that could really make a different kind of impact on us. Okay? So, how are we going to do it different? Okay, over here I've got some things that are some images, and I know one's pretty little, so I may try and got it printed out, so I may try to. This is what the bottom one looks like. I haven't tried it. That's what that bottom one looks like. Okay, so let's do it differently in 2018. Okay, first one word. Has anybody heard of hashtag one word 365 or the challenge one word 365? Has anybody heard of that before? No. Okay, good. So I hadn't heard of it either until probably about a week and a half ago. There's a website, there's a Facebook community that's all about one word 365, but I actually loved it, and so that's why I wanted to kind of share it with you guys. Feel free to Google and look at it online as you see fit. But basically the gist of it is that instead of these general or some of the traditional resolutions or goals or anything like that that we may come up with, the whole purpose of one word 365 is to, at the beginning of the year, pick one word, and that's what you're going to focus on for the entirety of the year. So you may kind of like write it down, you may see it all the time, you may journal about it, you just think about it every day, and you just see and focus on that one word and see what kind of happens when you focus on that. It's not that you can't do any of other goals or anything like that, but I thought it was a really interesting concept because what the purpose is for the goal to be positive. The goal is for it to be something more focused on being rather than doing. Okay? We are human beings, not human doings, right? And so focus on what we want to be. Okay, so that is one word. And take some time to think about it. If that's something that sounds interesting to you as a new way to look at something, and to look at the new year, definitely ponder that and come up with what your word would be and figure out how that you can focus and implement that word throughout the rest of your life or the rest of the year. The next one is Bucket List 2018. So this, I think, is a neat way of not listing things we're not going to do, okay, but listing things we are going to do. And it doesn't necessarily have to be goal-oriented. Maybe it's that you want to, I don't know, journal every day, or you want to go visit a state park, or you want to meet up with one of your college friends every 2 months, and you've never done that before. So not so much of a goal thing that you have to meet this, but things that you want to get done that can be about a healthy lifestyle, but don't necessarily have to be. Okay, so that's another way to look at resolutions a little bit differently and goals a little bit differently. The next one is called, and I made this up, a jar of awesome, right? So being able to just keep a jar or a bucket or a bowl or something around your house, and when you get to things or you experience something that feels successful to you or feels good, you write it down and stick it in your jar of awesome. Okay, you collect that throughout the year. So let's say from, we're all part of the Weight Management Center. So let's say you have a really good week where you feel very accomplished, you feel very successful, you logged your food for the full 7 days. So what you could do is you could write down, say this week I logged every item of food for 7 days, and that is awesome, right? So stick that in there. It may be that you got into a pair of pants that you haven't fit into in a while. Write that down. Maybe it's you ran a 5K. Or maybe it's that you had a really good conversation with a friend you hadn't talked to in a long time. So that's another way of looking and tracking the things that you want to accomplish or things that you want to be in 2018. Okay, and this is going to go back to, the next one is going to go back to, I believe it was Patty, but somebody mentioned something about getting back to just consistent behaviors. So a lot of times when we focus on setting goals, the goal that we set is the end result. Does that make sense to everybody? Like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. The goal is based on a result of something. Okay, see if y'all follow me here, because I hope this doesn't get confusing. So I'm suggesting that we set goals not about end results necessarily, but on actions that get us to the end result. So you may have that end result in the back of your mind. You may even write it down, which is okay. Because I do believe we have to have goals that tell us where we're going to go, or else we're not going to end up anywhere. But have our focus and our daily focus be not on the result, because that doesn't do anything for us. That just constantly has us thinking about 30 pounds lighter, 30 pounds lighter. But instead of that, I challenge you, set a goal that's based on the actions that get you there. So what I mean by that is exactly what I'm talking about down here at this bottom little chart that I showed you, a habit tracker. So for those of you whose goal is to lose 30 pounds, 100 pounds, what are the daily habits that are going to get you to that result? Think about it. Anybody? Logging. Why do you think tracking your habits is important? Helps you stay accountable. Yeah, it definitely does. Because when there are positive changes, I can look back and see what I was doing that helped. Yeah, it's data collection, right? Okay, so when I log my food, my results are better. And then I want to take it one step further and challenge you all to feel success, not just when the results are positive, right? But just because, like, let's say you set a habit goal of working out 3 out of 7 days a week, or your goal is to log, maybe you struggle with logging food on the weekends. So maybe your goal is for the month of January to log, I don't know how, let's say there's 8 weekend days. You want to log 7 out of 8 weekend days. So I want you to shift focus on not just feeling success when the results match your goals, but feel success when your day-to-day actions are met that you planned for. So what's an example of a goal that could be when we focus on habit tracking? So we're thinking about the overall general goal of weight loss or increased health or fitness, things like that. But what could be an example of a goal based on habit tracking? I just gave you an example, hint, hint. Again, so we're thinking, what is an example of a goal that you could set for yourself related to habit tracking? Ooh, I like that. So specific. Ride recumbent bike 2 times weekly. Mm-hmm. And you could even, if you needed to, get even more specific, at least 10 minutes, at least 30 minutes, wherever you're at, right? So ride the recumbent bike 2 times per week for at least 15 minutes each time. So then you could use something like the habit tracker here. I like to use the side of my planner for the things that I'm kind of shooting for the week, whether it's water intake or whatever, and put it right there on the side, and then you can check it off. And that feels really good for a lot of people to be like, you know what, like that feels success just in itself. I said I was going to ride the bike 2 times a week, and I did it. So then let's say you do that for a couple times a week, and then you can see, you know, I did do that, so I'm going to do it 3 times, right? That's a good example. Okay, anybody have any questions about any of these kind of different examples for how to focus on goals and resolutions in a little bit more positive light, or to do it a little differently in 2018? Okay. So next, I want to talk about how can you merge these with the Weight Management Center. So we're going to do some pretty cool things. I think they're pretty cool. So we're going to have a one-word wall up in the nutrition shop. Okay? And so what I mean is, for any of you that have been in the nutrition shop, is habit tracker available somewhere? I can make it available. I have a hard copy here. Do you guys want me to leave some out in the nutrition shop? I can totally do that. I can actually make it even a little bit bigger too. Yeah, let me make myself a note to do that. I'll make it bigger and leave some copies in the nutrition shop. Or, how about better yet, if y'all want, you can email me, and I can email it back. I'll be back for a couple weeks. Can it be available? Yeah. Shoot me an email. My email, I'll type it for you guys so that you have it. And then in that, just put habit tracker in the subject, and I'll send it back to you. That way you have that. Okay. So as far as the one-word wall in the nutrition shop, so when you come into the nutrition shop, we've been doing a couple little things where you get a perk a point if you post an ornament or a leaf in the fall, stuff like that. So I'm going to have some papers, and it's going to say one word. And then what we're going to do is you can write your word anonymously, of course, and stick it on there. So that shows us what our community, what our patients, what our staff even, what are we focusing on 2018? So come in, put that up on the wall. We'll keep it up for a little bit. So that's one thing. 2, the jar of awesome. So for those of you that haven't seen the new bulletin board in the lobby here, there's a bulletin board that's got different announcements. And one of the things that I'm going to put up there this week or next week is going to be a jar, not going to be a real jar, of awesome. And in that, it's probably going to be an envelope or something and some paper attached to where throughout the entire year, you guys can come by and, again, anonymously write down your successes. We're going to keep up with them, occasionally kind of look through them and share. Again, make it anonymous. Write down just any kind of scale or non-scale, primarily successes that you have, so that we can see all the things that we're accomplishing and proud of as a weight management community. Okay? The next one I'm going to do is a leave it behind. So again, check out the bulletin board. This will be up for the month of January. I'm not going to build a file for y'all to throw it in like I did in the PowerPoint, but it's going to be the exact same concept. So there's going to be, again, sheet of paper, just kind of like with the jar of awesome, and you're going to have the ability to write it on there and like literally throw it away. And so as you're here throughout the month of January, come by the bulletin board, take a look at that, participate in that. And that can be a really fun, interesting way to kind of reset focus. And remember, too, that it's just a new year. Nothing's different, right? You have the ability to make changes, whether it's December 31st, October 10th, January 1st. You have the ability to make choices multiple times a day for your better future, whatever that looks like for you. Okay? Lastly, I want to ask what you're going to do. So of all the options we talked about today, what is one thing that you think would be most helpful or you found most interesting that you're going to try or that you will implement this year? What stood out to you guys? Back to tracking. Okay, good. Anything else? Anybody thought of a word that they would want their one word to be, and did it pop into anybody's head? That takes some thought. You're totally right. Happy. Good. So come back, get your Perker point, put your word up on the board. If y'all have any questions, feel free to email me. If you want the habit tracker, I'm going to try and make it a little bit bigger so that way it'll be easier to write on. But I'll be happy to email that back to you probably tomorrow. But if y'all don't have any other questions, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. Happy New Year. And when I finish the meeting, feel free to click the link and give us some feedback on virtual group. Thank you guys for your participation.